Good evening, and today I have picked up a verse for you from Wu Sen, this beautiful book, The Lost Writings of Wu Sen, Pointers to Non-Duality. And it's interesting. What we have picked up is this verse, which says, fighting with the mind strengthens the mind. Seeing through the mind to what is prior to it takes all its power from it. I'll repeat, fighting with the mind strengthens the mind. We all know what it feels when you're fighting with the mind because we all get bombarded with so many thoughts that we feel crushed and finding so difficult to survive. I mean, how do I put or push these thoughts away? So, we all know what it feels like when we have to fight the thoughts. I mean, in a day, we are thinking 70,000 thoughts, right? And that's just too much energy. And not that we are aware of all these thoughts, because most of them are also wasteful thoughts. Most of the thoughts are also coming from, just our our tendency to just fear, to have fear about everything around, and we end up creating worst case scenarios for the future, or we are just randomly thinking about something that happened in the past and wishing that something could have been different. I mean, what can you really do about it, right? What's over is over. But the mind won't let you use your intelligence because the mind is not intelligent. Yeah, rather, I mean, it's convenient to say that the mind is using you, and using your intelligence to kind of just make you look like a fool. So that's the reason why we feel so crumbled and so helpless before these thoughts. And what really are thoughts? I mean, they're not even tangible. Thought is something that you can't see, smell, taste, hear, or feel, right? Thought is something um, that doesn't have any texture to it. So why are we so afraid of thoughts? Why is it that um, we always get bothered by our thoughts? I have so many people calling me and telling that, I have this problem that too many thoughts. And I tell them these are just thoughts. I mean, a thought is a thought is a thought. Why are you so afraid of your thoughts? I mean, even if you get a thought of you hitting somebody or somebody hitting you, how does it matter? It's just a thought. I mean, unless you believe a thought, what power does it have over you? And the strange thing is that when people learn law of attraction, they somehow feel that now their thoughts are going to manifest. And we never say that when you are applying law of attraction, you are going to have some kind of a magic wand with you, which will control the tendency to think or the quantity of thoughts that you would attract. It just helps you recognize that you are more powerful than the mind, right? um, unless you believe a thought, it has no power over you. And I'll repeat this again. Unless you believe a thought, it has no power over you. Yes, you need to have a certain kind of awareness, where you recognize that, yeah, there are these thoughts that are coming in, and it's okay. You can witness them just like passing clouds. I mean, just like the sky does not get affected by clouds, why is it that you would want to get affected by these thoughts? And this is something that you must understand once and for all. You don't need to fear your thoughts. They are just thoughts. That's it. Just like a cloud, it has no real formation, right? It appears, it just, it appears and it diffuses. That's all. If you allow your thoughts to just pass by without paying any attention to it, or without buying into them, or without believing into it, I think we'd have much more power, and we wouldn't be so invested in wanting to somehow get rid of these thoughts. So, coming back to what I'm really saying is, it's okay to have thoughts. It's not okay to believe into these thoughts. And it's not okay to even struggle trying to push these thoughts away. Let them be. What is important is you notice, where is your awareness? Is it centered in your own being? Because you're not the mind. The mind is different from being. Being is who you truly are, the power that comes before the mind. And that's what Hussein is actually saying. Fighting with the mind strengthens the mind. Seeing through the mind to what is prior to it. Have you wondered where is the thought originating from, or what exists before thought? There has to be a space, right, from where the thought gets originated or created. Can you allow yourself to stay in that space with just your awareness? That's all. When you're still, and don't tell me that it's difficult, because that's what your mind is telling. That's not what you are telling. Your mind instantly wants to tell you that no, that's not for you, that's not possible, somebody else can do it, I can't. And don't you realize that this is where your freedom lies? So it's not about controlling your thoughts, it's about being before thoughts, bringing your awareness before a thought gets created, centering your awareness into a space before the thought could get originated. Just like when you breathe in and breathe out, there is a gap. Before you breathe out, there is a gap. Before you breathe in, there is a gap. That's the interval. And can you hold your attention in that interval? Just like that. And if you have an argument that says that no, it's not possible because the mind would come, then I want you to tell you, I want to tell you this, that this is also a thought. And you will learn, you will have to learn to reject your thoughts. If you need freedom from the mind, that you will have to learn to reject these thoughts. And you would also need to get really, really, really good at it. And it's no rocket science. So allowing yourself to just stay before the thought gets originated, not such a big deal, not a rocket science. But that's something that you will need to decide for yourself. And that's what Wu Sen is pointing out here. Fighting with the mind strengthens the mind. Seeing through the mind to what is prior to it takes all its power from it. So that's what we will meditate on today. And, if you still think that it's not easy for you to stay in the space before a thought gets created, I want you to just focus on the breath. Because your mind can pay attention to only one thing at a time. And if you bring your awareness on the breath, you are engaging your mind constructively into feeling the presence of your own being. Because it's a choice you have to make. Do you want to establish your awareness and stay focused in the power of your being? Or are you willing to get tortured at the hands of your mind? And I think this is so important. This is so very important, and everybody will agree with me on this. Can you stay in the silence before a thought gets created? Can you hold the silence? Can you breathe into that silence? Can you feel the silence? Can you bear your own silence? One reason why the mind just jumps around or creates as many thoughts is because it gets your permission to do that. We are all uncomfortable when it comes to experiencing our silence. And that's why we keep thinking. We are constantly engaged in something or the other. The mind is just chewing on thoughts over and over and over and over again and depleting you of your vital energy, which would have otherwise got invested in experiencing and exploring the power of your being. And there's one thing I want you to get clear about today is that you are not the mind, you are not your thoughts, and you do not have to get bothered about negative thinking or even the intensity of thoughts or the frequency of thoughts or the struggle that you have with pushing thoughts away. Let go all of it. You are not the mind, and you are already a winner. You come before the mind, so you don't have to fight the mind, but you will need to see through the mind to what is prior to it, which is your own being. And the best way to do this is by learning to stay in the gap, learning to just hold the gap, and being so alert that you focus your attention into the awareness that precedes the thought. And that's where all your power is. So I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes now. Close your eyes and take few deep breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. And be acutely aware that your focus is on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Awareness on the breath. Like you are following your breath. You are following the breath. Attention on the breath. So the breath goes in first. Your attention follows thereafter. Breathe in, breathe out. Just paying attention, simple attention. And notice that you are using attention, which is a tool of the mind, to stay focused on something that is so pivotal. And the mind right now cannot attack you with thoughts because you are using it. You are not being used by the mind. Bring your attention back on the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Pay attention. Stay focused, acutely focused. You're doing very well. Just breathe in and breathe out. And this is the discipline that you need to grow into. This is your sadhana. So continue breathing in. And now we'll hold it. Hold your attention in the gap before you breathe out, just for a few seconds. Breathe out. Once again, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in. And get aware of the gap. Before you exhale, there is a choice that you make. This is the space called present moment, from which or from where everything originates, including a thought. So just breathe in, hold, breathe out. And now that you have got used to experiencing what the gap feels like, allow yourself to just breathe normally, maintaining your attention. Being aware that you are aware. Acutely focused on the space before the thought could get created. So if there is a thought, hold it, be aware. Don't let it get completed. Keep breathing in and out. And the mind will fight with you because it wants to complete that thought. It will not let you get or enjoy your freedom. You stay focused. Stay in the gap. Notice there can be a thought, but you hold back. Hold it. It can be a thought about work, about family. Be aware. Hold it. Don't let it get completed. Breathe in, breathe out, and hold your attention in the gap. And I want you to experience that there is a certain freedom and peace that you may be enjoying for now. And let this awareness expand now. And I want you to notice that you can hold longer periods of thoughtlessness because you are prior to thought now. You have beautifully distinguished yourself and differentiated yourself from the mind. You come before the mind. Hold your attention before the thought. And you're doing wonderful. Hold it. And experience the peace that is natural to you. This is not something that you are acquiring from outside. This is inherent to us. All you need to do is recognize that you as awareness exists before the thought. Just take few deep breaths, breathing in, breathing out. Allow this awareness to just expand. As though you are allowing the gap to grow. And just feel spacious. Just feel spacious. Stay like this. This is what true meditation feels like. Empty. And yet there is no need to fill it with anything. Just like that. Take a deep breath. And maybe this is the first time some of us are taking a breath of total freedom. Just feel immense gratitude for this experience. And know that you have access to your own peace and own silence at all times. And you can always come back to this place of deep awareness, deep intelligence that you already are at your own will. Take a deep breath. And whenever you feel complete, gently open your eyes.